This isn't one of my normal videos. I usually do basketball and sports videos on a variety of subjects and just get stock footage and put it together. Um, but I wanted to address this recent issue with the Melbourne Boomers import Tiffany Mitchell, that's accused Basketball Australia against, I guess, discriminatory policies and basically accusing them of racist policies, I guess, because she's been told to tie her hair back. Um, so this is just dropped on the weekend. I guess she was given an edict to tie her hair back, and then she's put in a complaint about this. And then after that, the whole team kneeled in protest prior to their game on Saturday. And then Basketball Australia has totally caved on this issue and apologized unreservedly, saying, what did they say? Um, Basketball Australia would like to acknowledge that an email sent to WNBL clubs regarding a policy referencing playing with braids and plaited ponytails was outdated and culturally insensitive. They go on to say how the Melbourne Boomers advised that two players found the policy to be discriminatory, culturally insensitive, and deeply upsetting. Both players were called. Um, and it just goes on. You can read it. You can pause it and read the whole statement. Tiffany Mitchell put out an Instagram message sort of outlining her concerns and everything. It is, and then, what I want to talk about is sort of the kneeling for the national anthem and, is this really racial discrimination? The reasons for kneeling were to, I'm completely thankful for my club as they stood behind me, my teammates, and myself that had braids and were very supportive, Mitchell said, to combat Basketball Australia and the false ruling they put out. We took a knee during the anthem before the game. Did this change how I still feel inside about the entire situation? No, but it gave me a sense of comfort knowing that ladies that I suit up with every night had my teammates and backs. Um, yeah, I guess I should say I have kids that play basketball, girls, and as well I'm an expat from America. I've been over here for about 20 years now. Um, and I just find this whole issue disturbing in how um, she is just a visitor to Australia, Tiffany Mitchell, and just is told to put her hair back because it's a safety issue. I don't know if it's a great rule or not, but uh, it's not a racially vindictive rule. It's always been there. Um, any coach will tell you in juniors that players wear plaits and they're told to take their plaits out before the game because they've deemed it a chance of striking somebody else in the eye, and that's why it's there. If it's a stupid rule, then remove it, but it hasn't been put there on racial grounds to discriminate against ethnic groups or anything like that. And to say that, to be a visitor to this country, to come out on a contract as a visitor and allege it, and then with no basis of facts is ridiculous. And nobody's really taken this on. It doesn't surprise me that Basketball Australia has just totally caved on this because they don't like facing the heat. If you see how they've managed Cambridge, where she potentially made racist comments during a scrimmage with the Nigerian team. Nobody knows because they didn't release what happened, but they didn't want to say what happened, and now on this issue they just totally caved just for fear of it, and I don't think it's right. Let's if you look at some of the photographs, it's with her hair, it's well, that's them kneeling. And a side note, I think that's Kayla George right next to her. I mean, she represents the Opals. She's kneeling on this. I mean, she would have played junior basketball over here. She knows you're not supposed to wear braids. She knows it's not racist. She's played for this country, and she's taking a knee. It's yeah, it's unbelievable. Talking about turning your back on Basketball Australia that supported you in your career. Um, when you know it's not racist is just unbelievable to me. And that aside, like I, I don't have any issues with Colin Kaepernick and his kneeling at the American national anthem. I think that was justified. I think he was bringing light to an issue. So I have no problem with that. So if you want to bring light to incarceration, deaths in incarceration, absolutely kneel. Same thing if you feel like Black Lives Matter and kneel for that. For the George Floyd death, great. Yeah, kneel. Absolutely. But to kneel and accuse racial discrimination because you've been told to pull back your hair, it's not. And to be a visitor to this country and accuse them of that is just ridiculous. How the boomers let her do that and the whole team is utterly ridiculous. I just haven't heard anybody, maybe I'm on an island here. I haven't heard anybody else speculate this. This is her going to the basket right here. It's just, is it that much to ask her to tie back the hair? Would you like having that go into your face as you're trying to make a play? I don't think I think it's worthwhile to have your hair tied back. I don't think it's racial vilification or discrimination. I think it's just common sense to a certain degree. And yeah, really disappointed that they caved on this. I just, it's just not a, yeah. So anyway, I don't want to ramble on. I probably have already rambled too much. I just wanted to get your general feel. If you think I'm way out of bounds here, and if that's the case, then give this video a dislike and leave a comment as well. If you think I'm right, if you think one, it wasn't racial discrimination to ask her to pull her hair back and put it in a bun, and two, if you think the other players, the other Australian players, were out of line for kneeling as well in support of this. Um, yeah, leave your comments below. Don't leave anything disrespectful. So I've got nothing, no issues with Tiffany Mitchell at all, and I don't want racial abuse to come her way or anything like that. If there's any inappropriate comments, I will just remove them. So I just really want a mature conversation on this topic, whether you think, essentially, was she being racially vilified by telling her to pull her hair back? And do you disapprove of the boomer players? I think like Kayla George. I mean, she represents the Opals. Like, do you approve of her taking a knee? Do you think she should be in the Opals squad for this? Like, to me, I really struggle with that these players just threw basketball Australia. Now, granted, basketball Australia is not the greatest. They've had their issues, but I just think they totally threw them under the bus, and threw Australia under the bus for no good reason. So anyway, would love to get your comments, respectful comments, please. You can see other videos I've done on the boomers and Opal. So I've done a few on Liz Cambage. Have a look. Some people like them, some people hate them. I actually think she's a fascinating character. And the more she's in basketball, the better. I'm disappointed she's not going to be in the Opal squad. As well, I've done one on the Opal's bodysuits just because I think that's an interesting take as well. That it just goes to show the Basketball Australia letting the players take the lead in these issues often doesn't have it's not clear what they're trying to say, because I can't believe that they've gone back to the bodysuits, which are sexist in so many ways, and I can't imagine all the players enjoy wearing bodysuits. But anyway, have a look. Again, would love your comments on this. I'm curious to see if people feel like I do, that this is way out of bounds and it shouldn't have been tolerated, the kneeling of the national anthem and the uproar over telling a player to tie their hair back, or as well equally, yeah, do I have this totally wrong? Is this totally racist and it should be condemned? So yeah, again, if you agree with me, give it a like. If you totally disagree with me and think I'm an a-hole, then yeah, put a dislike and a comment. But by all means, please keep the comments respectful, no bad language, and yeah, no, keep it to the subject. All right, well, anyway, thank you for watching this different video that I don't normally do. If you like my channel or the content, be appreciative if you subscribe. If you've liked the previous content, I hope I haven't turned you off too much by doing this one, giving my take on it. All right, so anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye.